I get sloppy with my iPhone 6 and I send not a full nude, but a partial nude to a director at the company. Had the same exact name as the guy I was talking to. You can imagine how that went.
Yo, what up, people? Welcome to Odix. It's your boy, David Picasso. And we got a special guest today that goes by
Laycie Jade.
What's up, Laycie? How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. How was traffic?
You know, traffic was good. I tend to underestimate my time to get to LA, so it was a little troubling there, but overall made it here safe. And yeah.
And where did you drive from?
I reside in Orange County. I live in Irvine.
Cool. How's that been, Orange County?
I moved to Orange County 3 years ago, and it has been the top 3 best decisions ever in my life. It's completely changed my perspective on life, my self-awareness, self-value, and also advanced my career more than I could have even planned on getting out there.
And as far as people that don't know your career, what does that mean?
So I have a very diverse background. I come from an accounting and finance background. I also am a very aggressive recruiter, and I am currently branding myself in cannabis, and I do modeling as well.
Okay, cool. You mentioned cannabis. How long you been in cannabis?
I've been in cannabis for about 2.5 years.
Okay, what made you get into that industry?
So I am a huge believer on manifesting. When I moved down to Orange County, I wasn't too heavy in the cannabis game. I've dabbled in smoking weed. Everyone does it when you're in high school. You're smoking on that disgusting skunk gas, whatever you can get your hands on.
Right.
I saw that down here it was huge with the LA Kush models. I wanted to be a part of it. I didn't know how. So I just did whatever. Anytime I smoked, I was making sure I was smoking on LA Kush. I was tagging them. I was putting my face out there, and eventually it came back fivefold. I got in with them. I had my first successful paid modeling gig with LA Kush. And since then, my career in cannabis, or my foot in cannabis, has just taken off immensely.
Okay, and obviously you like the industry, right?
I love it. Cannabis will be my end game. I will finish whatever I've started successfully in cannabis. I'm very confident with that.
And I know you mentioned before we started recording that you want to brand yourself.
Yes, I am looking into, without giving out too much information, I am looking into getting my own strain and pre-roll coming out with a dispensary I've been heavily volunteering with.
Are we able to say the dispensary name?
Yes, it's Remedy Room. They're located in Harupa Valley. I am a little partial, but they do have the best selection in the Riverside area and the most beautiful bud tenders.
There you go. You mentioned celebrities. What type of celebrities that dispensary works with?
So what makes our dispensary better or more exclusive than others is we're partnered with Eazy-E's sons. Both Erics have their own strain, their own line that we carry. We have everything from eighths to ounces of their product. We're partnered with Nicole Aniston, who is well respected in the adult industry. We also have influencers that come in. We have Alexandra Hoke that comes in. We have Joey Stacks that comes in on a regular basis whenever he's in California. He only picks up cannabis from us. So
that's so cool.
We're making our footprint, but it's just the beginning.
And then let me ask you a question. Is it just one dispensary or multiple?
Right now it's at one dispensary.
It's at one. Mm-hmm. Okay, got you. How long you been working with them?
So right now I'm currently volunteering with them. They've really given me the reins on their social media, their marketing. I've been there from the beginning. So it's been about 90 days since
90 days
opening.
And then those 90 days of volunteering, what's like your best experience of volunteering or just being in their environment?
I think it's really building the relationships with the vendors for me, making sure that they always have the top shelf items that are being requested by the customers, making sure that everything's taken care of, their social media is representing everything on the shelves, and also highlighting the amazing customer service and bud tenders that they have available every day. Not one day is there a weird team or any shift in staff. Everyone is always on their game. So it's a great family vibe, but also it's a lot of hungry hustlers, a lot of women that are really working hard and putting themselves forward because they enjoy the industry as well.
Now, is this family owned or is it a corporate company?
Right now, it is privately owned.
Okay, that's cool. And you mentioned social media, right? Can we talk about social media a little bit?
Yeah, so I am Laycie Jade on social media. I started heavily in social media about a year ago. At the end of this month, it'll make my year where I started pushing hard as far as shooting, modeling with product, working with outside photographers from my own network. Right now, I'm almost at 10K, and it means a lot to me that I've grown organically, which if you're not familiar with growing your social media, some people will buy followers, buy likes, buy anything to boost up their following, but their engagement isn't there. My engagement aligns with my following. I make sure that I am always answering comments, DMs, questions, making sure that my followers or my friends also are up to date into what I'm doing or what's exciting in my life that I post.
And what's like, if you can educate us a little bit, like for people that, for example, they're just starting out their social media and they're trying to grow it, right?
Yeah.
Male, female, doesn't matter. What are things that you can give us that you feel is going to help them build? Because to be honest with you, growing from, 0 to 10K in a year or less than a year, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. It takes a lot of time and dedication. You have to have a goal. Anything you want, you need to tie to a goal, and you need to make realistic steps for yourself to hit each small goal to get to your main large goal that you're trying to accomplish. I think that the main thing is you need to understand your niche and your reach.
Okay.
Niche meaning where you're trying to brand yourself, what industry. You can't just freestyle it. You can't just say, well, I'm going to be a model. What are you going to model? Do you do lifestyle modeling? Do you do clothing, product? And I learned that solely from Bear Digidio. I follow him faithfully on all platforms. He is a marketing guru. It takes time, dedication, and you have to be resilient to be in social media.
Okay. And can we talk about consistency?
Yes. So without, over explaining what I do, I wake up, I grab my phone, I check my emails, I go to my social media. I put in the time that needs to be put into my social media groups that I'm affiliated with. I have consistent hashtags that I am affiliated with as well. I go and I put my work in and I get it back. So whatever you're putting out, you're going to get back with consistency and persistent hard work.
When you talk about hashtags, how do you go about selecting the hashtags? There's so many.
Yes, and I for a long time had no idea how to hashtag. I didn't know what they meant. I would Google what hashtags are great. What's the now, which can work, but it's not sustainable and it's not going to give you the return you're expecting. I have certain ones that I follow that align with my page. I'm huge with women in cannabis, that hashtag. I have it on my profile and I dedicate time out of my day to go and make sure that I'm engaging with those women that follow that hashtag as well to build sort of a community. And we're faithful. I may not know that person. They may be in Oregon, they may be in New York, but I know because I've reached out and I like their pictures. That's a retained follower or a retained person that will come and do the same for me, what I've done for them.
Got you. So, and this goes back to, I'm not a guru. Like, it sounds like you are. You're pretty experienced. So when you say you go into the hashtag, obviously there's more people using that hashtag, right? So you go in there and the people that are using that hashtag, is that the people you engage with? Is that what I'm understanding?
So what I'll do is I will, for example, once again, I'll do women in cannabis. I'll search that hashtag in the search discovery area. I'll go to the most recent. I'll go and I will dedicate a certain amount of time to liking every single one of the most recent posts. Sometimes the posts have nothing to do with it. Some people just throw that in there because it's popular.
Gotcha.
Other people that are actually really into the industry, I will sit there, I'll look at their page, I'll see, maybe this person could be a value add, maybe I can be a value add to them, let me reach out. So there's so many open doors, but you'll never know unless you go and knock on it.
Gotcha.
Social media is huge to network and people don't see it that way. They see it as just face value, vanity, beautiful women, buff guys. It's so much more than that. It's almost like the millennial LinkedIn, so to speak.
Right. Now let's talk about your DMs. How's your DMs?
It goes down in the DMs. You don't even know.
Does it? We want to hear all about it.
I get everything. I get women supporting women, girls that ask me, questions, things they're struggling with, to I get full-on poems from India. I get offers for sex, prostitution, escorting, atmosphere modeling. And then also I get a lot of great business opportunities that are in the DMs too. For example, this is how we link.
Exactly. But let's talk about some funny DMs that you're like, I can't believe this person sent me this.
So I get offered a lot of favors for material things. A lot of, I want to shoot with you, and it's not a photographer. So basically, like, they want to do like an iPhone camera. I don't know if that's like, a lot of, you're my dream girl, like, please. I don't know. I get a lot more sexual things than others, but sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's like, love tit, come be with me, and it's like, wow. I get asked a lot about my breast size. I get asked a lot what my price is.
What's the pickup line look like?
Oh, gosh, I get a lot of like, are you tired from running? Because you've been running in my mind all night. Bam, next DM dick pic. And I'm like,
no way.
Or I get a lot of, hey, babe, I know this isn't traditional, but I saw you on Tinder, or I saw you on Plenty of Fish. I will admit, I have been on Bumble. I have never been on any other dating site. So I'll get a lot of those trying to get their foot in their door by using like a generic that.
Business opportunities. What's came out of it?
So I work with a lot of big names in the cannabis industry. In the DMs, that's how it seems like it goes nowadays.
Do they recruit you in that format, like through the DMs?
Yes, and it takes a very smart person to be able to dissect messages to know if it's legit or if it's not, because I've, not for cannabis, but for a photo shoot, when I first started out, I've straight gotten clowned on with, met this person at a loft, did a photo shoot. I mean, I'm more known for my lingerie shooting. Did that. He sent it back to me in same day in my Dropbox, all the proofs, nothing edited. And so I picked my top 5 pictures out of the shoot that I liked. I sent him and I said, hey, like, this is what I would like to be edited. I think this is great. He said, well, I don't know how to edit. I just like to take pictures of women in lingerie. Okay. So literally, this guy got a pretty free show. I don't shoot fully nude, but it's nothing that I would allow a stranger to see me with. So yeah, it takes time being very smart about how you're going to disperse your time as well.
So I think you probably gotten better, at screening them.
I've gotten very better with flagging the non-professionals and knowing where to put my time towards.
Now, as far as dating, has any dating came out of the Instagram?
I hate to say it, but yes, I've actually had a relationship out of a straight up DM. But yeah.
Can we talk about that relationship?
Yeah, of course.
How was it? Like, what was the approach like,
It was a great learning experience that I made rougher on myself than needed, but nonetheless, it's not a loss. So I have been linked to a very well-known influencer in Los Angeles, and I met him in the DMs.
Are we able to give a name?
Yes, his name is Josh Hopkins.
Okay.
He's well-known in the fitness industry. He's been featured on LA Weekly in LA, so he does have over 500,000 followers. So as someone at the time when I was approached in the DMs by this buff, tattooed, model-looking guy, I was starstruck. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was just so in awe that someone like that would want the attention of me. So we ended up dating. We had a break in between, and it was like being on It's a Small World, but then all of a sudden you take an edible, there's some coke thrown in there, and then at the end it's Splash Mountain.
God damn.
I don't know how else to describe it. That was on the fly.
That was enough. I had enough.
I mean, everything starts in the honeymoon phase.
How long did that last?
God.
2 days?
It felt like 2 years. Timeline, I want to say it's maybe a unsuccessful 4 months, but a very long 4 months. So I always do my research on anybody. I'm very analytical. I want to know what I'm getting myself into always. I painted a lot of red flags white with him. He does have a very explicit reputation of not treating women well. I put that to the side because, like I said, he is great to look at. I'm not going to deny the looks. I'm not going to deny the Instagram fame. But what you see on Instagram, and I think it's very important for females, Instagram is not reality. It can be 50%, but it's never 100%. So I had not ever known an influencer in my life, so I did not know that. I didn't have any warnings except for what I had read about him. Fortunately, I did not experience the extent of abuse that his previous ex, which was a very public case. I didn't experience that, but there was a lot of rough times that I overlooked because of the social media, because I saw the income, the potential. I saw what I felt was attainable for this person. I was in awe, so I put up with a lot of things that now I respect myself enough to not.
Were you able to capture some game from him? Did he teach you things about social media?
Yeah, he did. I learned probably more than I needed to. It went from social media to I was OnlyFans girlfriend, being a content creator for his OnlyFans. So I learned the social media game. He was already tied in with Ellie Kush, which has been a huge impact on my career in cannabis. He showed me how to handle myself at photo shoots. Like, there was a lot of value adds that he brought, but they did not outweigh the negative things that I was willingly putting up with.
You mentioned OnlyFans. Do you have an OnlyFans account?
I do not have an OnlyFans.
Okay.
If you follow me, you know I am very firm on not having an OnlyFans. I have a lot of friends that have very successful OnlyFans. I solely do not have an OnlyFans because I rely on my business acumen to get me through life.
Gotcha.
My body is great. It could be better. I really enjoy looking a certain way and being aesthetically pleasing. And I feel like making money off your body is not something that was ever an option for me. It was always looked down upon on my family, and I don't want to transfer something that I'm doing to my younger sisters. I have 4 younger sisters who are extremely smart and beautiful, and I don't want them to think that this could be an easy way out for them. I'm not knocking anybody who does it. My ex made $100,000 in 3 months. It can be very lucrative.
Got you.
It's just not for me at this time.
Now, you said you did it at one point, though, right? With him?
No. I was an OnlyFans girlfriend. So I helped create the content that men were paying for to see explicit pictures of my ex-boyfriend.
Got you. Okay.
So
okay,
if you ever need a cameraman for some nice shower scenes, I know the angles. But wow. I was never involved. Not even a finger. I was just holding the camera.
Got you. Now, we got a little bit into family. I didn't know you had sisters. So let's go back a little bit. Your upbringing, as a kid.
I come from a very small town in Santa Barbara County. I don't even know the population, but basically I can sum it up in my graduating high school class was 600, or not my graduating class, excuse me. The entire high school was 600 kids. I went to a private Catholic school, so that might give you a little bit of an idea of how small the town is.
For sure. High school you did there?
Yes, so I attended a private Catholic high school there.
No way.
Did that. 2 days after high school, I voluntarily put myself into beauty college, or into cosmetology school. I passed up a few softball scholarships that, at the time, I probably should have done that. But I was very strong-willed, very wild, wanted to get into the beauty industry. My parents cut me off. I used every single cent of my graduation money to get into registration the second I graduated.
Wow, how did that go?
It went great. I had my license since I was 18. I started my first job while I was attending school because my parents cut me off. So I had to pay for my registration, my books, anything additional I needed. So it was a great learning experience and it matured me quick.
Now, when you say your first job, what was your first job?
My first job was at Home Depot.
Oh, that's cool.
It was at Home Depot because they paid more than minimum wage, which back then I was stoked on making $9.50 an hour.
Imagine that, $9.50 an hour. That's crazy. Minimum, I think, is $15 now, so it's insane. All right, so you go from Home Depot to what's your next job or next career move look like?
Go to Home Depot. I'm working there through school. I start doing hair and makeup. So I worked as an assistant at one salon. I worked at Fantastic Sam's next to a military base doing high-end tights 9 to 5. I was an independent consultant. I shadowed a well-known makeup artist for a while, and then it just wasn't for me. I wasn't willing to put in the time and wait. I wanted that income now. I'm a very money-driven person, and I didn't see the value of waiting because I was so young. So then after that, I got into corporate.
Okay. Yeah. And what was corporate look like? What was the job?
So I started in customer service. Worked my way up, promoted, and then I got pushed into accounting. I wanted to leave my current company. They wanted to keep me, so they promoted me and just threw me in accounting. Okay. So I had a very successful accounting career before I got into cannabis. I've worked for Fortune 500 companies. I worked for Johnson & Johnson. The highest level I've achieved was staff accountant, and then I got into recruiting for accounting and finance because I'm very forward. I'm very forward-facing. I love people. I love to talk. So sitting behind a desk and doing spreadsheets was just not fulfilling.
Right. Yeah. So that's how you got into the accounting world, right?
I got into the accounting. I was pushed into it. I found I was good at it because I'm very analytical, numbers driven, and I'm great at, I guess, reconciliations, finding the gaps, finding the errors.
That's crazy, dude. That sounds like
really
intense.
And I'm nosy too. I like budgeting, forecasting. I like to see what everyone's working with. I want to know what the projections are for next year. Am I going to stay here? Am I going to bounce? Like, it was really good and it built me as a person. It really, got my brain going every day.
Did that transition into like your personal finance, or you always been very responsible in that sense?
I've always been very responsible. I grew up with a mother who was raised by my grandparents that went through the Depression. So I grew up with someone who was very scared to spend any money. So I've always been good with my money. I've always had A1 credit. Knock on wood.
Yeah, man. Credit is hard to get. Yeah, shout out to anybody who has it.
But it wasn't easy. Like my first car, I had 29% interest rate because my parents wouldn't sign for it.
29%.
29% of my first Benz, first car I ever bought. My parents wouldn't co-sign for me. They said, "You want it?
What type of car did you buy?"
I had a little Benz.
Bro, that's your first car.
It wasn't brand new. It was used.
Someone's spoiled.
Someone works hard.
For
it
sure.
Was, yeah, it was used, but
it's still Benz though.
I had to learn the hard way. 29% is just straight, no lube, right up there.
Oh, 29%. I didn't even know that existed, to be honest.
It does when you have no credit. I had a debit card. That's all I had. But I needed a car. I needed a car. My parents were like, "You're getting off the tee. Bye."
And what age was this?
This was 19.
Oh, so you were a baby, man. Yeah, you're super
Not
young.
even able to drink legally.
At what age did you move out?
I moved out at 18. I moved out when I was in beauty college. I had a boyfriend at that time who had a house, and there was like 6 guys to a 3-bedroom house, straight up dorm style. I loved it. I ate it up. I was like the queen of the house, doing their laundry, but I loved it. Like, I loved that little wifey type duty feeling. I don't know.
How long did that last?
Solid like 6 months.
Oh.
He also worked at Home Depot. It was just like a fairy tale ready to happen, you know.
Gotcha. So I'm assuming when that relationship comes to an end, you move?
Moved back home for a short period of time, and then I moved out again. I'm not one that likes rules. I like business structure, but I don't like rules. So going from frat house to parents' house, it didn't sit well with me. I moved out with someone that I went to high school with who was in the adult industry, and that was quite the experience. Our furniture consisted of bongs and stripper poles.
I want to hear some experiences. What happened in that home? Come on, let's talk about it.
It's more like what didn't.
What didn't? Okay, all right.
I pride myself on being a good friend. I'm very reliable, very loyal, so I would always take her lunch or dinner or whatever time it was. I'd pop in at the Rhino, drop it off, wait for her to come home at 3, and things started getting sticky when work was coming home. There's a lot of substance abuse happening that was beyond my knowing at the time. But it was very chaotic. But when you're 18, 19, you're all about it, because basically strippers kind of have everything. They got the alcohol, they got the whatever, they got the rich guys that are coming over. I was just kind of eating it all up. I was just in the mix. I never stripped, I never got into it, but I was definitely hanging out with that crowd.
And that's crazy you say that, because I feel like, I'm sure she influenced you in some ways, and if anybody knows about stripping, you get an understanding that their money is made a little bit different and a lot quicker, if that makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. You living on your own, why didn't you get into it? I just feel it's such an easy avenue to be like, hey.
It was, and I had transitioned out of Home Depot. I was working at a call center, so I've always had the wild side to me, definitely. I still am a little wild, but I've always been very money motivated, very driven to provide for myself. When my mom wouldn't have extra change for me on Fridays in elementary for ice cream, I found that. I found it. I sold my pencils. I sold my answers for my homework. I wanted that ice cream. I got that ice cream. Like, there's no questions. So I've always been driven to, provide for myself, but I didn't know the extent of the stripping. I was like, oh yeah, we had parted ways after high school for a year, came back. Sure, I'll live with you. She's like, I make more money. Like, I'll always help cover rent. And, it seemed promising, but I didn't know the Motley Crue lifestyle that came with it.
Okay, gotcha. And are you able to share, any like fun experiences though that you had?
I can jump on the pole. I can do a few things on a pole. If we had one, I'd show you. It's a great workout.
And you learned this from her?
From her. Never made it into a strip club to do this. This was solely in our living room. We had a great pole. But yeah, it was just a learning experience in that area. There wasn't too much takeaway because it was so fast and chaotic in that house.
How long did that last?
A year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what happens after that year?
So within that time, I met my first serious boyfriend. He was on leave from the military. He came to the stripper party house, and we reconnected in that aspect. And we'd known each other for a while. So that was one benefit, I will say. And he's actually still a huge part of my life to this day.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. Shout out to him.
Shout out.
What transition between that time? How old were you then, if I may ask?
19.
19. And to the point where you decide, like, hey, I'm going to Orange County? Like,
oh wow, so this is so much time has passed, so never Orange County was ever a thought in my mind. I thought about moving to Vegas, I think, with her because she wanted to prolong the stripping career out there, but Orange County was not on my radar until I turned 26, 27. But anyways, yeah, I got out of that. I think what had happened, so actually this led into me getting my Benz. I had a car, I wrecked it texting while driving, completely totaled it. I was irresponsible, didn't have insurance. So that was the point where my parents were like, you did this, you clean up your mess. So that really shaped me up too, because now I had a car payment. Before, I had my parents paying my car.
Oh wow. Okay.
Or yeah, I think that's what it was. I was responsible for the insurance, but I lied about paying it and never did.
Gotcha.
You know, that extra $50 was so much back then.
Wow, when you're making $950 an hour, it is.
It was. I remember my rent was $500, and then, you know, cell phones back then. There wasn't too much responsibility, but back then,
no, totally makes sense.
None of my friends lived on their own, so of course, along with the stripper pad, it was the party pad.
Gotcha. So how do you make that decision though to coming back to or moving to Orange County?
So fast forward so many years. I'm 25. I'm in a serious relationship with an older gentleman. That was such a great experience, but such a crazy twist here and there. I was working for Johnson & Johnson. I was doing accounting, and I was also training at a national level. I was going back and forth from New York, Pennsylvania to California and training on Johnson & Johnson's best practices, software, onboarding third-party companies. My last stop was in Brea, and I was like, God, this is the OC life I need. This is what I'm ready for. Not knowing Brea is not even really Orange County. My relationship with the older gentleman was getting a little rocky, and it just felt like the right move. I felt like now or never. Like, I'm either gonna, you know, take a shit or get off the pot, Laycie. Move. Like, you owe it to yourself. This person is older. He has an established company for 25 plus years. He's not going anywhere. You're not having kids. You're not making a family. Get out or live in this misery. And I just made the decision. I left.
You made the decision on your own? Like, you didn't consult with like a best friend, or I don't know if you have, do you have mentors?
Yes, I was going to get into that. So my mentor at the time, who turned into best friend, who we'll get into that, she helped me get my job at Johnson & Johnson. She was a recruiter through Robert Half, and she was helping me. She was like, come see what it's like to recruit, shadow me for a week, which I ended up, you know, learning the game very quickly and seeing where the money could come from, that you're not just on salary. I never even understood salary plus commission is, you know, would take me in a higher level of compensation. So I confided in her, told her the situation. She said, look, I'm moving to Orange County. I have a prestigious company I'm linked up with. Give me a month. I'll get you out here. So I rely on her. I'm playing nice with this guy, trying to like keep my house, my living situation, you know, good, while I know I'm applying for jobs behind this man's back. So I get an interview at this company my mentor's at. I get denied.
Shit.
They said, you're too green. You don't have enough experience. Come back in a year. I said, no. I write thank you note after thank you note. I reach out to every director there. I get a second interview. Thanks, but no thanks. I do it again. I call the owner of the company nonstop.
Wait, the owner of what company?
Of this recruiting firm I'm trying to get in.
Got it.
I'm trying to get a job in Orange County so I can move.
Right.
I didn't have like that stability. I call her. She goes, you want to work for me? You come here, you have an apartment, you show me a proof of living, you move everything, you start on Friday. And this was on a Monday or Tuesday.
What the hell?
I find a crazy cat lady on Craigslist. I pack up my makeup and my clothes and I jam.
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, literally. And my mom, my parents, they're for it. I've never asked them for anything. They're just like, you know, you've lived off of your own decisions this long. Like, good luck.
What city did you move into?
I moved into Costa Mesa. My first month, I was in Costa Mesa.
Gotcha.
Like I said, found crazy cat lady on Craigslist. They're literally, I slept on my yoga mat for a week. I had nothing under my name anymore. I sold everything when I got into that relationship. I thought that was my end all be all. I had my, like I said, my clothes and my makeup.
And you're talking about this relation. This is the older gentleman you're talking about.
Yes.
Got you.
Yeah,
so you moved to Costa Mesa?
Moved to Costa Mesa.
You start working for this firm?
I'm feeling great. Like, this is by far one of the highest points in my career up until this point. I'm loving it. I'm working hand in hand with my mentor. Fast forward to almost my 90 days. I get sloppy with my iPhone 6 and I send not a full nude, but a partial nude to a director at the company. Had the same exact name as the guy I was talking to, and yeah, you can imagine how that went.
Wait, hold on. I cannot imagine how it went. How did it go?
Okay, so let me think. This guy is like shades of Mr. Rogers
Can you tell me the job title he had, so I can understand?
Director.
Got it. Okay,
director level, okay. Right above the owner that I was haggling for a job. I send this maybe a see-through bra. I had pants on, very low pulled down yoga pants. It was suggestive, but it wasn't my best work. I'm gonna throw that out there.
So it wasn't nude then?
It wasn't nude. You can see a little nip through the bra. It was like a lacy see-through, you know. It's one of my assets. But send it to him. He has the same name as the guy I'm talking to. I freak out. I cry. I call my mentor. Tell her what happens. She goes, oh, it'll blow over. It's nothing.
Did he reply?
He did. So this is what happened. I was like, hey, babe, see you next week. Here's a picture. Get in the shower, you know? Get in the shower, do my thing, come out. Laycie, this was not meant for me, I hope. Let's discuss when you get in tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
So immediate panic. I'm like crying on my freaking yoga mat that I'm sleeping on. So my mentor is like, it'll be fine. Like, it'll be a joke. There's 2 women in a 13-man office, including three. I'm sorry. The owner's a woman, me, and my mentor. So she brings it up. He doesn't even bring it up to anybody.
Who's she?
The mentor that I called crying in panic. She brings it up. It becomes like the laughing stock of the office, which I'm fine. I can take it. But he turned it into, what if my wife finds out that I'm getting nude pictures from this girl? Like, she's sexually harassing me. So I got let go. I had to sign a few things. Got let go.
Severance package, I'm assuming.
I signed an NDA on a few things. So now I'm alone. Crazy cat lady, yoga mat.
In Orange County.
Don't know what I'm going to do. No, spent all my savings on this car that I thought was going to change up my game.
What car? Since you seem to have a selection of cars here. What's going on?
I got a Lexus IS350. Way more car than I need. It's beautiful, gorgeous. Didn't need it. Spent more savings on it than I should have. So I'm freaking out. I don't know what I'm going to do. Looking for jobs, crying every night, literally I remember at one point I was like, I have to move home. I have 13. How many In-N-Outs can I buy with $13? Because this is what I have for the remainder of the month. And it was like halfway into the second week of the month.
How much did you have?
13. It was 13.17. I will never forget, because I was dividing up should I get a double tonight? Should I get a single?
13.70 or $13.70?
13.70. You're
wild, bro. So so what happens?
I'm applying. I'm interviewing every single day.
Are you eating?
I was very thin then.
So you weren't eating, is what I'm saying.
I've told you I was trying to divvy up my money to see how much.
No, but I want to hear the details. So did you go like days without meals?
It was like that. Yeah, like I'd wake up. I like to fast regardless, but I would be like, hey, if I eat this at 7:00, it'll be sustainable. No morning cardio, because I'm gonna get hungry, and when I get hungry, I get crazy. So I literally divided myself up and figured out, how am I going to make this 13, almost 14, but not $14 last for the rest of the month. I didn't want to touch the $7.
Wait, $14 fucking dollars, bro?
I didn't want to touch whatever I walked away with, because to me that was like, there has to be an apocalypse. Like, this is like the COVID money, basically. So I'm freaking out. My cell phone's past due. That was the only thing I let get past due. I paid my rent. After paying what I knew had to get done, I did have that 13.17 in my account. I find a company. I interview with the owner for 8 hours. I get
what?
Yeah.
An interview for 8 hours?
8 hours, not even lying. I was there from like 2 to freaking whatever.
With the owner?
With the owner of this company that I found on LinkedIn.
Got you.
Get the job. I'm with that company for 2.5 years. It was successful. It was a great learning experience. It springboarded my recruiting career to, what it should have been with the other company.
Got you. And so you obviously make a move after those 2 years.
Make a move after those 2 years.
And you, by the way, you're still in the Costa Mesa? Still with the cat lady?
No. Cat lady and I had to part ways. Our lease was up. So that was part of me getting my place so quickly. I was filling in for someone that was leaving. Like, it was basically a move of desperation, because I knew I wanted to get out there. I had to show the proof of move and everything to get that first job. So I'm with the company for 2.5 years, kick ass, whatever, successful, doing me. Move to a new company that I am currently still employed with. COVID hits. My first, not even so ever many months, I'm there with them. I'm literally still going through training videos, and COVID hits.
Crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy. So you're currently with them?
I am still currently under Solomon Page, which is a national recruiting firm. I am in the accounting and finance department.
How's COVID, dude? How has COVID like changed your life? How did you handle COVID when it first happened?
When it first happened, the company promised that they were keeping everybody on. Then we went through the first wave of layoffs. I made it through that. We went through the second wave of layoffs. I made it through that. Then when I think that the economy shifted to layoffs to furlough, thank God, I got the first wave of furloughed. I was doing anything though. I was literally working on orders in New York because that's where my headquarters are. And at the time COVID first hit, New York was just swamped. It was like when you see on Wolf of Wall Street, they ring the bell. It's like you have to find candidates for this job because everybody's applying. It's so competitive. Everyone needs a job. Everyone is like, doesn't know what's happening. So I shifted from working an 8 to 5 to I knew I had to put in the extra effort to show that I was committed. I was waking up at 5 a.m. because 5 a.m. is 8 a.m. New York time.
Right.
So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to hustle across the U.S. just trying to save my job.
Right.
Unfortunately, it happened in my division and in the LA division to where the staffing side did get furloughed. So then I'm sitting at home thinking like, I haven't been a stay-at-home Laycie forever. I didn't know what to do.
Right.
I started picking up extra photo shoots, and then eventually a connection that I had made in the past with LA Kush had hit me up in the DMs.
Okay.
Hey girl, loved working with you. I think that you'd be great to come check out our dispensary we're opening in Harupa Valley. Harupa Valley? Like,
yeah, where's that?
Where is this? So I go, this girl's great. I look up to her. She's amazing. Her name's Raina. She comes in, she shows me this literally stripped building. There's nothing in there. She goes, so what do you think? I didn't have the vision. I had never been at a dispensary where it's being built from the ground up. I'm like, yeah, looks great. Let me know where you need my help. So I just started, helping a little here, a little there on a voluntary basis, labeling, just like minor things to keep myself busy because I like to be busy. Right. I'm a hustler. I'm an entrepreneur. Right. I'm always moving, all gas, no brakes. It's unfolded to be literally the best thing that has happened to me during COVID. I've gotten my hands in deeper with the cannabis industry. I've made amazing connections with brands that I wasn't even aware of. And now I'm here. Like I said before, I will make cannabis my end game. I'm just trying to figure out where the strategic moves are going to be.
Of course. Yeah. And I feel like you still have time. I mean, it's pretty new getting into it. You've done a lot.
Yeah, I have done a lot in a small amount of time, but me personally, the way I look at something when I'm walking into it, there's no ceiling.
Gotcha.
Like sky's the limit.
Got you. Now, I know we talked a lot about work, but when COVID hit, obviously you had to go home, right? You're going to your... No, you didn't go home?
Nope, I have not gone home less since... Like, you mean my hometown to my parents?
No. I mean, like, your house. Like, how did you handle your house routine?
Oh, yeah.
Prior to COVID, I'm sure you had a whole different routine, maybe going out, that kind of stuff.
So when COVID first started, I literally didn't leave my house. I was very on the up and up about being germ-free, COVID-free. Don't look at anybody. Don't let anyone breathe on you. Yeah, I slowed my life down a lot when COVID first hit because it's a lot of unknown. Nobody knows. Sure. I mean, can you tell me what the fuck's going on? Nobody knows. Like, we're living in a day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. Nobody knows.
For sure. So how did that affect your habits and your routines? What changed inside your home? Were you just watching TV, popping up Netflix?
I was being lazy. I was just straight sitting on the couch eating. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it really wore down on my mental state because I was scared to go outside. I didn't know what was going to happen. My entertainment was going to Costco and trying to like elbow people for paper towels. That was like the excitement and entertainment at that time. But yeah, no, it wore on me, my mental well-being. It wore on my physical well-being. I wasn't working out. I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, because you probably weren't doing photo shoots or anything like that.
I was very strict when COVID first started.
Now, did that build any bad habits? Do you smoke weed by any chance?
I do, of course I do.
Okay. Did the weed game increase?
The weed game increased, the food intake increased. Like, I let myself go for a solid month, and then I checked myself. I'm very self-aware. I had to check myself. Like, I started making myself go out on walks. It's literally the small things that might not look like a lot that meant a lot at that time because I had shut down completely. Like, but yeah, I just kind of started getting myself out there.
When you say you checked yourself, what's the thinking process like? Do you just wake up one day and you're like, oh, what the fuck I'm doing? Or
I mean, I check myself daily. I mean, I don't know if this is normal or not. I'm always like, get your shit together. Like, literally, what purpose was that? Don't repeat it and be better.
Gotcha.
So I do that on my, like I said, on the daily, but at that time I was so clouded in my mind. I don't know. I don't want to say depression, but I was in a rut.
Gotcha.
Willingly put myself in a rut.
Now, through the process with COVID starting until now, have you gone on dates?
I have gone on dates.
How are those dates? Like, especially at the beginning of COVID, what was the date consist of?
I went on a date with a really nice young man, but I will say it was like, if you were to let the animals out of the zoo, I was like, restaurant, drinks? Yes, 10 drinks, let's go, shots. It wasn't successful. I pulled the drunk girl first date. My first date via COVID, I did pull the drunk girl. Not my worst drunk girl date moment, but yeah, I have gone on dates since COVID. I am actively dating.
But tell me about this first date though. What do you mean? Like, you order, how many drinks did you order first of all?
I'm gonna say I did a little blackout special. COVID, no COVID. I'm a 3 drink, 4 drink. We're getting a little tipsy. 5 drink, we're babysitting. So I know my limits. I'm 31. I'm a grown ass woman. I want to say I took at least 5 at the bar and then probably 3 back at his place. Not even, no shame. I was just like living my best life.
Damn. Now, where did you guys go?
I don't even know. We went to some small cafe and Huntington Beach, and yeah.
Any fun stories as far as dating during COVID? Besides that one, I think that was kind of fun.
I've really consumed my time with work. I haven't had a lot of fun, crazy things during COVID except for that one. Outside of COVID, I've done, it's been a little interesting here and there.
Outside of COVID, tell me, give me one, hit me.
Gosh, let's see. Oh, here's a really good one. So I went on a date, met on Bumble. I admit I've been on Bumble. Wasn't a very successful date. To grab my attention, you have to be a motivated, driven person. This person that I met up with, we went to Starbucks, very casual. I let him pick me up. We're talking and he's telling me he works from home, but he doesn't really work from home. He clocks in, clocks out, but is working on a passion project during these hours that he's getting on payroll from this company. Doesn't sit well with me. I asked him about the passion project, thinking I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe this is something above my head. I don't know what this stuff is about.
Right.
I can't tell you because it's not finished, is what he tells me. I'm just like, Jesus, this guy is literally, in my mind, the accountant is literally embezzling company hours. Not my type. I've worked hard for everything I have. I look him straight in the eye and tell him, like, I think you're great. Just take me home. Takes me home, awkward. A year later, he applies and I interview him to...
No.
Mm-hmm. And I told the owner, I said, I know this guy. Like, I am 90% sure that this is the guy I told take me home from Starbucks. He goes, water under the bridge. It's the guy. I'm sitting there interviewing and I'm thinking, like, I already know you're...
Wait, did he act like he knew you or...
He was like, Laycie? I'm like, hey, yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking in my head, tell me how you're going to change your lazy ass ways and be a part of my company. But yeah, anyways, I think that's one of the funniest ones.
He didn't get hired, I'm assuming.
No, he did not get hired. One time I got accused by being a catfish when I was being catfished. I thought I was on Punk'd. Literally, this guy picks me up in this beautiful i8, super nice. We're talking a few days before the date. I walk down the stairs of my apartment complex to go meet him at his car. Not even a hi, not even a hug, a shake hand. He grabs me by my ears, throws my face underneath the streetlight and goes, I just want to make sure you are who you said you were. This guy had posted pictures from many sit-ups ago, many moons ago. I didn't know who the fuck he was. I thought he sent me a driver. So I have this person who has posted his pictures at his best 5 years ago, grabbing my face, throwing it under a light, asking me if I'm a catfish when I'm like, what is going on?
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's just a little...
That's insane. That's insane.
Sum up of it.
All right, let's get into a segment we do here. It's a bunch of sex questions. You ready?
I'm down.
All right, let's do it. Favorite position?
Ooh, I like being on top.
Okay. What's the reason for it? What is it that you like dominate the situation or?
I'm just going to be raw. Like, that is my go-to. That's how I come. That gets me off.
That hits the G spot.
That hits it. I mean, I'm not saying every single time, but I'm saying 75% or higher, which is huge for a woman because, as you know, we are a little bit more specific when it comes to that.
Size? Does size matter?
Yeah. Okay. yes and no. I mean, I haven't dealt with like more than a handful of shrimp dicks, but I don't want to be snapped in two when I'm on you.
Okay, got you. Now,
Is that a bad term? I'm sorry.
No. I think people get it. So let me ask you, what's the biggest size you've handled?
God, I mean,
and I'm sure you're not getting a measuring tape, but
yeah.
just in general.
Oh no, I'm weird. I'm not gonna lie. I know.
If
If I go like this is at least 7 inches. I know this length right here. So I'm gonna say like I've had about maybe like a 9.5 in my roster. It's not every day I get that. I'm just saying in my past experience.
You switch it up a little bit. All right, that's huge. How did you handle that?
I mean, like a chimp. I mean, it's different. Like, I don't want to say like too much, but it's like, that person's an athlete. He is very well endowed everywhere. Yeah. I mean, height, hands. I mean, it's kind of expected.
So you took it like a champ. That's all that matters.
Yeah, no.
Okay, that's what's up.
I mean, there might have been tears, but they weren't crying. They're tears of joy.
Tears of joy. Fetishes. Any fetishes?
No, not specifically with me. I mean, I'm a team player in bed, but I mean, nothing that comes to mind.
Weird requests you would get from, I don't know, you're like, yo, that's a little extreme, or
I did have somebody that wanted me to call him my ex-boyfriend's name while we were having sex. So he would say like, okay, well, we're like getting hot and heavy, and he's like, you know what I want this time? I'm like, what? He's like, I want you to call me this person's name. Not every ex is glorified, or not every ex you want to think about while you're getting down in it. So I'm sitting there calling this guy that I'm dating my ex's name, and he's loving it, like just drooling over it, like never been harder in his life. And it's just like, oh God,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, call me your ex's name. Saliva to the face. I don't like it. I've done some weird freaky ass shit. Like I said,
we want to hear it. What
okay,
is the freaky ass shit?
Spit in my mouth. Okay, not on the first date. Not if I don't know you. This was a boyfriend. This one wanted to like get a bowl of spit in his hand and just like more aggressive, just like all over my face. And I'm like, I take time to look good for my man. I'm doing hours of hair and makeup, and then you want to cover me in spit? Like, I get it, spit can be lube, but he was directly like wanting to cover me in fucking spit.
That's crazy. That's a little wild. Wild. Craziest thing a guy that you didn't expect, and you're like, yo, whoa, hold on, do you want to ask me first if I'm into that the guy did to you?
I can't think of it. Oh, wanted me to talk about my mom during sex. Was just like, what would you do if your mom walked in right now? And I'm thinking like, fuck, is she on her way? Like, what? Like, I'm thrown off. He's like, yeah, tell me what you'd do if mommy walked in. I'm like, I'm trying to be a team player, trying to see anything, but I'm like, bro, my mom, not even asking me to call you daddy. Like, what if my mom walks in? Like, so I think that might have thrown me for a loop. It was weird. Crazy. It was like some whack ass weird role play shit. I have no idea.
Are you into dressing up?
I will. It's not my go-to, but like I have a nice lingerie collection, which I'm sure has been seen on Instagram. Had a few schoolgirl outfits, but once again, it's more, I like just to get down to it. I like being in the moment. I like being intimate. I like feeling like a man take control. I enjoy sex. I don't have a lot of different things like this is specifically will get me off, like fetishes. I'm open to them.
And that was the next question, like what turns you on? And even if it's multiple things,
what turns me on? A man who handles his shit. Dress wise, I love a man in either golf clothes or suited up. I don't know why. I do like the muscular build, but the buff gym clothes, I don't know. I like that professional. I handle my shit. I run my own company. You want to do it? I got it. I'm a fucking man. I love that suit. I love a nice suit, cologne, a fresh haircut. I swear, men, cut your hair every Friday. I can't stand a one clip around or that ugh.
Yeah.
That's what gets me going. Like that nice, clean Brad Pitt and Mr. and Mrs. Smith look.
Okay. Any crazy requests that you've asked the guy to do? Like, like you have to do this for me or whatever. Maybe.
Go down on me? Fuck. You'd be imagined with how many buff guys are literally two pump chumps in bed.
No.
Yeah. I want to say the heavier the weight you push, the less of a giver you are.
Oh shit, no way. Why is that? It's
I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I could like help these guys out, but I think that they're just like living off their looks and they like younger girls and they don't know their bodies or what to tell the man to do. But yeah, no, I don't have crazy requests, but I mean like it's not a one-way street. Like
right,
get back to work.
Yeah. Both ways definitely works. Are you open to anal or no anal?
I have done anal. It is not my go-to, but I mean, it has to be like an established relationship.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. Let's move on to something else. Let me ask you a question. If you can go back on time and you can go to like a 17-year-old yourself or 18-year-old, what type of advice would you give yourself?
Respect your parents. 100%. I was very wild. Like I said, didn't like rules. I glorified a lot of the wrong things, but all in all, my parents are not perfect, but they did everything at the time that they could have. Whether it was putting me in the best school that they could have, they did a lot, and I did not respect that at all. I didn't look at it that way. I was more of a you owe me this because I'm your child type of kid. It's unfortunate and I wish that I wasn't, but I was.
Have you communicated that to them already?
Oh, I thank them all the time.
That's awesome.
I thank them all the time. I'm so lucky that they put me through that Catholic school.
That's good. No,
Yeah.
that's really good to hear. And that's really good advice, by the way. How do you think that would have made an impact on your life as far as like moving forward around that
Yeah,
age?
no, I definitely would have went to college. I would have taken my softball scholarships. I would have, I don't know what I would have majored in because at that time I was very dedicated to hair and makeup and vanity. I've always been like that, but I think if I valued my parents' advice and didn't try to be so defiant towards them and just went the right course or just did what needed to be done, my only job was to get good grades and play softball.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, we're making it to the end. Any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah. One of my dearest, most best friends who got me into modeling, shooting, Wyatt Craig. He goes by Riot, R-I-O-T, Craig on Instagram. He literally is one of the top people in my life. Unconditional love for him. He's helped me in so many ways. He was my first serious boyfriend. Now we pass business back to each other in the cannabis industry, and he's been featured in Forbes. Amazing photographer. JJ, the fitness coach. He not only is a personal development mentor to me, but also helped me immensely when I was struggling with my fitness. My great friend Delaney Jane Doe. She is in the publicity space and she is also one of my ride or die there no matter what friends. And then, like I said, Bear DiGidio, we don't have too much of a personal relationship, but I look up to that man so much for my marketing, my social media, even my daily news. He throws out stock advice too. He's just an overall triple threat that if you're not following him, I strongly suggest you do.
Well, shout out to those people impacting your life. Everybody who's listening and watching, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube, follow our Instagram. I want to thank you. And thank you for coming.
Thank you for your time.
We appreciate you for sure. Till next time, we out. Peace.